been a hard 6 weeks for the postal workers. Can we give it up for them? I know some of you here may have been present during the lockout that happened yesterday morning at Canada Post. And I know many of the postal workers here have said that they're grateful about that.
Louder.
Yeah, you gotta turn it up.
Unfortunately, that's as loud as I can get. Not something I usually have to say. So, as I've said to a few of you, I'm honestly impressed with how many people turned out. I'm used to volunteering rurally where we're lucky if 15 people show up. So, I gotta say, first of all, thank you. Seeing people show up and show how they care about the people who are going through some of the hardest jobs that we have out here is impressive. I don't know about you, but being on my feet for 16 hours a day in the snow delivering mail doesn't sound like something I am cut out for. I have a problem standing on my feet for an hour. But enough about me. So, we're here to talk about the postal workers. One of the rights that postal workers have fought for and won for most people is maternity leave. Maternity leave means not just staying at home with your kid and making sure that they're fed. It means time for the families to bond, whether they're heterosexual, homosexual, or what type of family you have. Can anyone name any other rights that unions have given us?
8-hour day.
What's an 8-hour day?
I think it's fair to say in the last 200 years, most of our rights have been given to us by the workers of the unions who have fought for them. Not granted by the governments, not given as a bonus or incentive by the companies, but they have been fought for and died for. And that's something that's worth reminding. It has only been 100 years since Joe Hill died. And since then, workers' rights have been something that has been on the forefront for a lot of people. But one of the things we're here for is to show solidarity for the postal workers who were forced back to work this week and prevented from negotiating a contract on equal terms with their employers, Canada Post. I keep saying this, but I'm honestly impressed with how much of a turnout we have and the different unions and organizations we have. I've seen this go to Ireland, the States, and other countries. I was going to start with one that most of us tends to boil our blood. Conservatives. Liberals. Essential workers. What does that mean? What does it mean to be an essential worker?
Not posties.
Does it mean the people who keep our hospital staff?
Yes.
Does it mean the people who guard our streets?
Yes.
Or does it mean the people who keep big business going? Because that's what it seems like the Liberals care more about.
That's their friends.
Last week, we saw them
Essential.
push through one of the worst bills we've seen since Harper disappeared. In many ways, it was the nail in the coffin for anyone who believed in Justin Trudeau. But luckily, we had a few people who decided to say no and walked out, who stood up for workers' rights and were willing to take the hit for it. And this will be remembered in 11 months when we go back to the polls. Across the country, people are seeing what our government is doing and what they're saying. On almost a couple days later, after Justin Trudeau voted for the essential workers clause and bill to be put in, the United Steelworkers were laid off. Several of the plants closed in Canada and in the United States.
Shame!
Shame! They're willing to bail out the banks while we get broken.